What's up, YouTube? Erod212 here with another video. So recently I answered a posting for sports cards and I wound up walking away with this eventually. How did we turn cards into comics? Stay tuned and find out. All right, so recently I saw on that Nextdoor app, I don't know if you guys have ever used it. I like to go on there. You get some information on neighborhood stuff, but also sometimes people post stuff, yard sales and things like that, so I'm always on the hunt. And somebody had sports cards and he had them really cheap. He had offered me all the sports cards he had listed, and it was probably more of the 90s Drek stuff, but he wanted $150. And I was supposed to meet up and I was unable to meet up, so we rearranged it. And finally he made an offer to me and he said, just come by, I want to get rid of this stuff. It's $30 and you can take it all. I got to get it out of here. And there was stuff like, Wade Boggs card, a little Ripken, some Tony Gwynn, a ton of these Barry Bonds. Not worth much. A few bucks on all of them. The Randy Johnson cards, the Griffey, and the big bonus. And the ones he had told me about were the Billy Ripken knob errors. And if you know about cards, you'll know what these are. Two of them are the first print, the right ones, and the second one is the last one is the one where the knob is blacked out, so that the curse isn't there. So went to pick these up, and having a conversation. Turned out it was his brother's collection. His brother collected sports cards for many years. His brother had passed away, so he was just looking to move a lot of his stuff. And while talking, he mentioned that his brother collected comics too. So I told him that was my main forte. I'd love to look at it. He had one short box of books, not a lot of good stuff in there, but decent enough. I made an offer. I think I picked up the short box for $30. And then while we were negotiating, he goes, I think there's more comics in the basement. And he goes, come on, take a walk. So we went downstairs, and lo and behold, there were like 24 short boxes of comics. And of course, I asked if I could take a look through them, and I start sorting through them, and there were a lot of really good books. But the story is that one brother had some of them, but the other brother, who was still alive, the rest were his. So he had to speak to his brothers and find out what boxes were which. Which turn, a week later, I got a phone call. And I went there, and I wound up picking up, I think it was 4 short boxes worth of books. But he had also sorted out a bunch of books on the table, and he didn't know I pressed comics or anything else, so just random. And he told me, I'm going to keep these are going to go, I'm going to get these graded, because he was into the grading of sports cards, so he was aware of the hobby. He said he was going to get those graded. And then we started talking. I started explaining to him the cleaning and pressing aspect of it, of course, trying to garner a customer, and also what CGC would charge. Like he had an LB Cole Golden Age book. He had an Iron Man 1, some Tales of Suspense. So, I told him, if you don't send them to CGC, or after you send them to CGC, if you're looking to sell, hit me up. I'm always in the market. But these are the books that we did come to an agreement on, and I'm super, super excited. Let me show you what books we have here right now. All right, so I'm going to start with the small books first, and we'll do it this way. But yeah, like Logan's Run number 6, first Thanos solo story. And we had X-Men 155, First Brood. X-Men 184, Newsstand Edition, first appearance of Forge. X-Men 166, Newsstand Edition. Web of Spider-Man number 18. This is the Venom with appearance there. Web of Spider-Man number 1, minty fresh. Daredevil number 176, I believe that's the Death of Stick. Daredevil 196, iconic cover. Masters of the Universe #1. Another copy of Masters of the Universe #1, excuse me. Daredevil number 181. Daredevil, iconic. Daredevil number 184, it's that weapons cover. Daredevil 183, and newsstands on these. Thor 135. We're going Thor number 113. Amazing Spider-Man number 300. 365 lenticular. That's the Spidey 2099. Machine Man #1. Jack Kirby goodness from the 70s. Longshot #1. Arthur Adams' first work. We're going Journey into Mystery number 90. So double-digit Journey into Mysteries. Wolverine #2, newsstand edition. Marvel 2-in-1 #1. First time you get the 2-in-1. That series ran for a really long time. Some more Daredevil number 183. This is the direct edition on that. Power of Warlock #1. This book was super hot at one point with Adam Warlock. Alice Cooper. This is a Marvel Premiere 50. I always remember this issue, buying this as a kid. First Alice Cooper in comics, and then we got Man-Thing #1. Pause, but Frank Bruner on there. Marvel Spotlight #1. First solo Red Wolf. We go Wolverine #3 from the miniseries, newsstand edition, super clean copy too. Wolverine #4, direct edition. Wolverine #2, newsstand edition. Another copy of #3. He kind of like collected, because the other boxes had it too. He was stacking on certain books. Some he hit on, some he missed on. It wasn't like he was doing runs or anything like that, which was pretty interesting. You know, another web of Spidey right there. We're going Swamp Thing #4, some Bernie Wrightson goodness right there. Swamp Thing #8, some more Bernie Wrightson. Jonah Hex #1, first solo series for Jonah Hex. And there were two copies there. Marvel Chillers #1, a near mint copy. Another Machine Man #1. We're going with Astonishing Tales #1. Another Astonishing Tales #1. One was a lower grade one. Then we go Amazing Adventures #1. All that Bronze Age goodness right there. One of my favorite Schomburg cover. Invaders Annual #1. Great book. X-Men #104. First appearance of the Starjammers. Got Howard the Duck 13. First appearance of Kiss in comics. Wolverine #2, newsstand edition. And then we're going stuff like this, like Uncanny X-Men #137, the classic giant-sized issue. Submariner #19, first appearance of Stingray. G.I. Joe #1. Yeah, #1. Better than that though. We got a G.I. Joe 21 silent issue newsstand edition. Got a Star Wars #1. Thor 126. I believe this is the first solo Thor title. Takes place after the Journey into Mystery. We're going to go with All-Star Westerns #11. As you can see, I've started to package these up. This is the second appearance of Jonah Hex. Great book to own. Werewolf by Night #4. This book peaked at one point too. It was really, really hot. That was Marvel Spotlight #4. Doctor Strange #1. Great book to own. Great book. Talk about great books. First appearance of Lilith. Giant Size Chillers #1. That's a classic. Giant Size Spider-Man and Dracula #1. Moon Knight #1. First, this is with the whole Mark Spector story arc. This is first solo series. Incredible Hulk Annual number 5 and second appearance of Groot. And we're going to some bangers now. Miss Marvel number 1 from 1977. There were 1, 2, 3. At one point, there were 5 copies. I've brought a couple of these to auctions so that you guys could benefit on what I got. And these were all really, really nice. There's actually one of them I'm sending in pre-screen at probably like a 9.6 high grade. We got a Punisher number 1 from the miniseries, Iconic Mike Zeck. That's a newsstand edition. And then we have a direct edition. Direct edition is a much, much better looking book. And then this was the kicker. Wolverine number 1 newsstand. All in all, there were 17 copies of this book in newsstand. 16 were newsstand, 1 was a direct, which was more beat up. The one thing though, he did write on a lot of them a date stamp. He wrote a date on there. So I had them at like 9.6s, the ones that were super, super high. Somebody bought one at King Kong, and then he reached back to me and told me, hey, just to give you a heads up, I appreciate it. He got a 9.8 on it. So I did send some in to get pre-screened. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. Pre-screened, that book sold up to $1,500. It's probably like hovering between $1,100 and $1,200 right now. So, man, score of a lifetime. Hopefully this guy calls me back with the other stuff. And let me know what you think. But you know what? That's why you do the things we do. Sports cards into comics. Who would have thought, right? All right, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. And until the next video, peace.